Welcome back to the fourth annual Her Hoop Stats WNBA Mock Free Agency Podcast. I'm Gabe Ibrahim. I am your host today and your player agent for every player that is unrestricted and restricted free agent in the league, and technically reserved free agents as well. I represent everyone. I've been getting people money. In part one, we had some great deals go down, some interesting negotiations. Interesting to see the various considerations that these players will take. We have Brianna Stewart and John Cole Jones going back to New York. They're going to be joined by Natasha Cloud from the Washington Mystics. Nneka Ogwumike goes back to the Sparks. Connecticut brings back DeWanna Bonner. Skylar Diggins-Smith actually goes to Washington to replace Natasha Cloud. And in order to make room for Natasha Cloud, New York sent out Courtney Vandersloot to the Seattle Storm. And then Jordan Canada wrapped up our part one by going to the Connecticut Sun for a chance to win a championship and play some great basketball there. So now we're picking up with the rest of the star free agents. So we'll start with Britney Griner. Her negotiations go about the way you're going to think, so don't get too excited there. And then we have Elena Delle Donne, Bri Jones, Candace Parker, Satu Sabally, Alana Smith, who had probably the most interesting negotiation in this exercise. So it's a lot of fun. Our crack team of GMs did a great job. I'll give you a reminder of who everyone is. We have Sabrina Merchant. She has the Phoenix Mercury and the Los Angeles Sparks. We have the Caius Duncan, who had the Connecticut Sun and the Washington Mystics. Kevin Pelton had the Seattle Storm and the Dallas Wings. Richard Cohen had the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty. Alfred Corriette had the Chicago Sky and the Las Vegas Aces. And then Bobby Mummery wrapped us out with the Minnesota Lynx and the Atlanta Dream. So that's who you're going to be hearing talking on this part two. It's about an hour and a half, so you're going to have a good time. And then we give our impressions at the end and talk about the moves we did and how we see our team setting up. Also, make sure to follow us at Her Hoop Stats on Twitter or X or whatever it's called nowadays, and on the Her Hoop Stats newsletter, herhoopstats.substack.com, to see all the stuff we're going to be doing for the mock free agency, which includes recap podcasts, recap interviews, and we'll be looking at actual free agency once that begins, which is starting just about now. There's going to be reserve offers happening as this podcast comes out. We hope you listen to this up through free agency. So, hey, I'll stop talking. Go have a great time. Now we're moving down the list again. Let's see. Is the next person on the win shares list really Alana Smith?
Yeah.
I mean, we could bump up Griner, because I don't think we've done Griner's.
Griner's staying in Phoenix. Let's not worry about Griner.
I mean,
Griner's saying it.
She said so.
Sure?
She said she's staying in Phoenix.
She said on multiple occasions, like, I'm only playing in Phoenix, but playing in WNBA.
Well, we still should get a salary for her. So
yeah, we should.
Her and Delle Donne next.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Let's start with BG. Phoenix, can I have everything I want? Or
I think we're in the situation where you would like us to build as competent of a team as possible. So you can have the max. You can wait until we see what else happens. But anything you want, obviously, not going to be a problem here.
What did she take?
She took a 165 last year.
Okay. Let's say we bottom.
We know the book deals coming. You know, there's revenue coming in.
No, actually, I think that 165 is probably like the base offer, because like it is BG. I don't want to. I hate giving back money, but we have to be realistic about what she has done in the past. And
yeah, we can put that in place. And if we have more space opening up, by all means, we can send that your way.
And we'll do, let's do 2 years. Yeah, 2 years.
Sure.
Or one.
I would assume that she'd sign a 1-year deal.
Yeah. No, you're right. We'll do 1 year, because then next year we can be flexible again. So 1 year, 165K flex. Okay, that's what we're gonna do for Britney Griner. Again, I just don't think it's realistic for us to even like consider most places. Okay, now Elena Delle Donne, who face of the franchise in Washington and in Chicago when she was there, one of the best players in league history. She's had a great time in Washington. She was not cored though. So Washington, you can get the first pitch here. Let's just go, since we're running a little low on time. Let's just start with the offers, and then we'll come back and do the pitches. So Washington, what's the offer?
Washington, we're gonna go. We will go 2 years at 200 even. Or up to 200 even, rather.
Up to
Was the first
200? Okay.
We'll
Wait,
say
can we
up
go
to-
higher than 200 or no?
I will say up to 210, but we would like some wiggle room because of the 51 regular season games played in 3 years. But we obviously value what Elena Delle Donne brings to the table.
Let's say so derisively. It's not her fault she got hurt. All right.
It's true.
But okay, so up to 210 is what we got. And that's cool. That's cool. I think she would be flexible in that situation, but I think she would hear out other offers from winning teams, where she plays. So I mean, like, yeah, let's.
I think Vegas has 160 available. Yes.
Yep, of course. that Vegas 160 is gonna keep going.
Like to hear those players again. Storm would offer a 2-year max.
Oh, Storm will offer a 2-year max. That's interesting. That's far from home, but that's
is it a winning team though?
It is now that we got Courtney Vandersloot.
Because I mean, Chicago would be willing to offer the 2-year max to bring Elena Delle Donne home.
Is that my home?
It's where you
Your
started.
former WNBA home.
It's WNBA home, yeah.
You can't get close to Delle.
2-year max as well.
Okay, so here's the team. All right, I'm just gonna tell the teams I want to. I'm sorry guys, I didn't mean to, get everyone's hopes up. I would like to hear if New York has something. If Vegas already gave their offer. New York, Vegas, Minnesota, actually Seattle. I am willing to keep that on the board, but I don't. I mean, that's too far from home. Honestly, it's really New York and Connecticut because that's on the East Coast, and I think she doesn't want to leave this area. She said that in the past. Right. So New York and Connecticut. If you guys want to give me an offer, I'm hearing it. Nothing. Wow. Okay.
We'll stick with Washington as the joint owner here.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I don't think she wants to leave the East Coast. So that Vegas offer is interesting, but I think she's gonna go back to Washington. 2 years, $210,000, and again, that can be. Well, let's put a baseline on it. So it's up to 210. That's the max, and we'll say it won't get below 180.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's fair. Okay. A lot of these deals. You guys told me I could do this. It's my favorite thing. Okay, guys. So that's Elena Delle Donne going back to Washington. Have I sent enough players different places this year, guys?
Not enough to Vegas.
Do you think there's gonna be any backlash of people going to Vegas, or are they just gonna keep riding the money train?
Well, I think
or the ring train, I should say.
I think at some point, the backlash is coming.
I don't expect a backlash, but I don't know that these players are necessarily going to be the ones that do it.
The backlash might have been the league investigation that came last year and found nothing.
The one that didn't interview any current players?
Well, yeah. And debited them a first-round pick that would have been number 12. That's really going to kill them.
Where's the league office to protect themselves? Okay, let's keep it rolling here, guys. All right, I'm gonna throw out some names. I'm gonna throw out a couple choices here. What? Allie Quigley's on here. I believe Allie Quigley's retired. Are we sure? No. Okay, then we're just.
She never officially retired, did she? She just said she
did
wasn't.
not officially retire.
No, but yeah.
I feel
we
like that's
probably
just
consider her retired.
Follow Salute, or we can probably sit on that.
She was a really big New York Liberty fan last year.
Storm would be happy to bring her back, so we can talk.
We'll talk about her down the road. All right, let's. I think the next person we could do Alana Smith. We could do Courtney Williams. We can actually let me make sure we've done everyone on my
Let's do Brianna Jones.
Yeah,
I think Brianna Jones and Satu Sabally are probably the two biggest priorities.
Yep. I was gonna. Yep. All right, that's my stars tier. They'll round this out. Oh, and Candace Parker. So we'll do those three next. Okay, Brianna Jones, Satu Sabally, Candace Parker, in that order. So let's start with Bree Jones here. Obviously, tough year last year with the injury, but she has been one of the best centers in the league. Has spent her whole career in Connecticut. I didn't get that one wrong. So Bree Jones, she would like to hear from Connecticut. What's the dollar amount? And kind of what's different about our team in terms of me and my role.
Got you. Not much difference in terms of the role shifting. We Obviously, be happy to have her back at the 5, take on some of those beefier matchups. Still remains one of the best post-up scorers in the league, or someone that can at least beat some people down low, get some extra offensive rebounds for us. We appreciate that portion. I'm going to go short term. I'm going to go 2 years. Not going to go up to the full max. We'll say 2 years, 195, to give her a little bit of the injury buffer, but also offer at least a little bit of security. But we very much have her as part of our long-term future.
Yeah, and I think that's fair, and I don't think she'd be like offended by not getting a full max offer there, and that's very reasonable offer for a place she's happy in. Although, I think it kind of opens the door for other offers to hop in. So, who else wants to talk to Bree Jones?
Storm 2-year max.
Storm 2-year max. Okay. Oh no.
Ezzy's never gonna get to play the 5, huh?
Okay.
She will the first few weeks of the season if Brianna Jones is still rehabbing.
It's true. Okay, so Seattle 2-year max. Anybody else? No. Wow. Okay, so that max. All right. Let's see. What's the difference there? What's the difference here between?
It's like 13K. 208 is the max, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna haggle over 13K. I think she wants to go back, and considering there wasn't like a bonanza of offers, I'm sorry, Seattle. Hey, the tables have turned. The tables have turned on the Storm in the mock free agency.
Now the tables have turned.
Tables. All right. The Connecticut Sun, I think Brianna Jones is going to go back there. 2 years, $195,000 is going to be her deal. So that's all. And protect that. That one has to be protected. That's a big deal that one's protected. So protected, yeah?
Fair.
Okay. So that one is definitely protected. All righty. So I have forgotten the order that I laid out. Oh, no, I have it here. Sorry. Well, we'll go Satu last since she's restricted. But we'll go to Candace Parker. Candace, last year. She gets a ring. For being on Las Vegas. Las Vegas, just tell me the number. Because, I know what I'm going to do there. But...
Yeah,
what's my number?
With Vegas, we're basically willing to do the same thing as last year, 100,000.
Okay. 100,000. That's
100,000, 110 in the second year is a little bit of a boost if you want it.
I don't think she's signing a 2-year deal.
You don't think so?
I think she's gonna sign a 1-year deal.
Okay.
I don't think she does 2 years. Just for flexibility's sake, and like if it's $100,000, you will have that next year, I guarantee it. Okay. Does anyone else have an offer? I mean, like, obviously money is less important than winning, and I think there's a drawback to kind of get right with the Aces. But does anyone else have an offer that might be interesting for Candace Parker?
Atlanta's willing to offer 175 for her to go to where she, does her inside the NBA work.
Oh.
Well, she's welcome to come to Indiana for the match if she wants.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, she doesn't work for TNT in the summer.
No, I know, but it's a city she's familiar with.
Yeah,
I mean, and it works.
And she couldn't in May, so April and May. So I actually do think that's a reasonable place for her to end up.
No, I think it's interesting. I just like. It's tough for me as like a fake player agent to make like a decision based on your other job. I think I may have done that in the past, though. All right, Bobby, I appreciate.
I mean, I think Chiney Ogwumike is an example of that. Obviously, that's not the only draw of LA for her, but
Indiana, I appreciate it, but I'm not that interested in doing that.
Yeah, I didn't think you would be, but it's out there.
You want to back up Aaliyah Boston?
She can play alongside Aaliyah Boston. Alana Smith will come off the bench.
Would she go to Atlanta?
Is it a winning team?
I think it could be. I mean, that's a team that's kind of ready. But yeah, I think you're right. I think she's going to go back to Las Vegas. I mean, I think, but Atlanta made me think because of that tie. But I really think that this may be the last year she plays. Has she said anything about that? No?
I know she said before last season that she was operating as if it was her last year, but like not officially retiring.
Last year was?
Yeah, but then I don't think she's made any announcements relative to this upcoming season. I don't think she wants to go out like that.
That was my thought process in saying that she wasn't retiring this year, was that she wouldn't want to go out in a year where she was hurt and her team won the championship. But I think she wants to play. So I think she's gonna give me that Las Vegas deal, $100,000. We'll agree with that. Atlanta, great offer though. I just think it's more about the winning for her than anything else. I do think Atlanta's maybe a little bit further off. Okay, so that's Candace Parker. Now let's go to Satu Sabally, who is a restricted free agent. So not only does Dallas get the right to match, they get the right to make the first offer in our simulation. So Dallas, what's our offer here?
Yeah, look, we're not going to mess around here. Satu showed how good she is last season. We'll do 2 years at the standard max.
Right, and that's the maximum you can offer.
Correct.
Right. And she would not. Yeah, she's not restricted at any other point. Right.
Correct.
Yeah. So this is her last restricted year. There could be a core in the future, but that's fine. So Dallas has the 2-year max offer. I don't think we could need to go any further because.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta would love to negotiate a sign and trade if you're interested, with Ariel McDonald and the number 8 pick both being very much on the table. We've worked together before.
As much as we love the sign and trade or the deal for Alicia Gray last year, that was at the player's request. So unless Gabe, as the agent, tells me to make a trade, then we are not with Satu.
No, I think Satu is at least happy enough in Dallas to not request a trade. You have to be pretty upset to trade.
That's all we're looking for.
I think a lot of us had interest in Satu and found little interest in a trade.
Just fending off suitors. Okay, so Satu back 2 years max protected. Protected, yes. Protected. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, all right. And Candace is not protected. All right. So we have done a lot of players so far. I don't know. Do we feel the need to recap? I think we should just keep going, and we can recap in a different time. We did during Canada. Okay, let's move on. All right, so I'm abandoning this list a little bit, considering that people have kind of wanted to abandon it. Yeah, I mean, we may not even get to Tina Charles, who's averaging 32 points in China. But I think Jasmine Thomas is next in like my little list here. If anyone else has someone else to propose, we could go there. But if hearing no objection, we'll go to Jasmine Thomas.
People have talked about Courtney Williams.
Oh, okay. I'm catching up on this now. All right.
Courtney,
Rebecca Allen.
do we skip? Do we just skip Alana Smith?
We have skipped.
I knew Nikias was gonna want that.
Hey,
she's tough. She was tough last year. That was
so good. Yeah.
Yep. Vegas and Chicago would be willing to hop on for Alana Smith.
All right, we're doing Alana Smith, I guess, guys. That's what the list says. I appreciate everyone. I heard Rebecca Allen. Who was the other name I heard?
Courtney Williams.
All right, we'll go like that. All right, so we'll go here. Let me write this down if I'm totally gonna forget. We'll go, or someone else just remind me. We're going Alana Smith, Rebecca Allen, Courtney Williams. Okay. Let's start with Alana Smith. As we mentioned, just like an awesome year last year in Chicago. Really liked the opportunity that I got with James Wade, and then when it wasn't James Wade, I signed for $100,000 last year, so I'm looking for a big pay raise. So who has big money offers for Alana Smith? Chicago, do you have a number for me?
Yep. So Chicago is willing to go to 175, 180 to keep you here. It's a big 2 years. It's steep, but we're looking to see if we can at least run it back with the previous cast, since we've missed out on a couple of names. Vegas is willing to offer 160. Yeah, that Vegas 160, but a winning situation.
Damn.
And we get to play with Asia Wilson, Candace Parker, and the bunch, a winning situation. And we will still have a little bit extra space to bring in somebody else. So it's a good winning situation for Alana Smith in Vegas, and Chicago. We'd be willing to give her some money to at least stay with Chicago.
Storm will offer a 2-year max.
Thank you, Storm. All right, Seattle. I'm sorry, Las Vegas. First off, hold on. Can I get that contract protected?
Oh yeah, it can be protected. 160, 2 years protected. Yeah.
What the hell am I on this team? I'm the 4th. No, actually, I have a pretty big role, huh?
Yeah, big role.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Caleb
And
George
winning
got that too.
situation.
Wait, is Las Vegas a winning situation?
Las Vegas is a winning situation.
All right.
They should be all right. Yeah.
If need be. I mean,
They did just re-sign Candace Parker, so I'm not sure what your role really is on Vegas.
but it's the winning situation, and
Sure.
you will never ever get a chance to play with the cast you're playing with. Right
Are
now.
you playing though?
But in fair, all right, hold on. In fairness, the Aces currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players on roster. Am I wrong? I am not wrong. They have 6 players on roster, and one of them's coming off a season-ending injury. So it's not like crazy that like
Seven. Did they cut Kirsten Bell?
No, she's still there. They got set. I'm sorry, 7, and then one of them is a bench player, and then the other one of them's coming off an injury. I think there's actually a pretty big role there for Alana Smith. They needed someone in that spot last year after Candace went down. To play
Given-
kind
Are
of
we
the 4.
forgetting about
injury-
the existence of Kia Stokes?
I mean, I think Alana Smith is probably a bigger upgrade.
No, we're not.
to Kia Stokes, considering Alana Smith was one of the league's top shot blockers and gave Chicago some floor spacing that Kia Stokes really wasn't able to give Vegas as much.
Do you remember the threes she hit at the start of Game 2 of the finals?
Stokes is also an unrestricted free agent, though, so
Sure.
she's not
Yeah.
there now.
Yeah.
Alana Smith, I believe, shot 30% from 3 this year. 29.4%, which was
It can improve.
the
It can
best
improve.
three-point shooting season of her career.
It can improve. And in the facility we have, we can improve players.
Honestly,
We have the facility as well, and we just offered you a max.
Yeah, but it's not our facility.
No, all right, hold on.
It's not.
Let's- So Chicago, I have 180. Las Vegas, I have 160. I have a 2-year max in Seattle. Anybody else coming in that around those numbers?
Chicago's willing to match that max for Seattle if need be.
Okay, yeah, there's need be.
Okay. I will be outbid. I was gonna say I would go to 170 for Alana. Where you work out with Connecticut, could work out a sign and trade involving Olivia Nelson-Ododa if you would like her back. But it seems like y'all got it. So
Yeah, I think
Atlanta would like Olivia Nelson-Ododa if she's on the table.
Not right now. Take that somewhere else. Okay. All right, let's do. All right, so we got Seattle. I think, man, Vegas. That's a really good offer. I just don't think winning is as much a priority for Alana as the money is, and there's a big difference between 160 and whatever it's 210. Yeah, 208. That's a substantial difference for 1 year. So I do think she would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the Seattle deal 1 year or 2 years?
Whatever number you want.
Seattle's 2. Damn. All right, Seattle's 2, and
We are highly motivated to get Alana Smith.
Chicago is 2.
Vegas is also.
All right. You know what? I think. Well, so I love how much Seattle wants me. That's just like that's great stuff. And I think honestly,
Chicago
it's the best.
wants you as
Chicago does, but I think Seattle's just a little better. Although I am starting, right?
Yeah, you
Because
and
we got-
Lindsay were starting together.
As
in
he's
front-
playing the 5.
we did
Oh,
it.
yeah.
About that earlier.
Yes.
We did it. And look, if you don't believe in Alana
In our-
Smith's
in our
sports rating,
fantasy
guess
world.
what? Ezzy shoots 5 threes, so we're good.
I like it. In our fantasy world, as you can play the 5. All right. Oh man, I love that Seattle offer. Let me just take a look at Chicago's roster before I really make.
I mean, we still got money. That's the thing. Like, we're willing to give you the max offer. We still have another max deal on the table. So, like,
Who's
willing.
left to spend it on?
Yeah.
we're still willing
Anybody
to
want to
spend.
offer a third year? Alana Smith doesn't have the track record of lots of stars we talked about already. That third year
That's
might be
Again,
enticing.
true.
any number of years Alana Smith wants, we're
That's
ready to sign.
okay. Then you know what, Seattle, just the willingness. That doesn't necessarily work all the time, but I love the desperation in your voice when you talk about me. Thank you.
We
Where
love
did
Ozzy's
Alana
here.
Smith finish in your warp rankings last year, Kevin Wilson?
Well, the free agent rankings will be out at some point soon on ESPN, but let's see here. Where is she in terms of projections? She is right behind Elena Delle Donne. So,
Tremendous.
Protected.
yes.
Okay. Then that is a deal to Seattle. That is a deal to Seattle. So 3 years max.
Is there
Alana Smith?
Is that a moratorium on getting players to Vegas or something? Like,
But it doesn't work with her. Like Bobby said, like she doesn't have a track record. She's probably not gonna get this contract again. Like the max is
it's only a $40K difference, really.
Yeah, but it's the $80K difference.
I mean, sure,
It's
but
2 years.
Sure, get to win.
That's a lot of that's If it was like a 20K difference over 2 years, I'm like, whatever.
I mean, you got to think about how much you get for winning the Commissioner's Cup and what the playoff bonus is, right? There's some money there.
Is Seattle even in?
We're gonna get there. We can win the Commissioner's Cup. Anyone can win the Commissioner's Cup.
And this is for a player who could barely get signed a year ago.
I don't think she made it on the podcast last year.
Who got cut by one of the worst teams in league history in June in 2022. Excuse me, forgot what year.
That never made any sense.
It really didn't. But hey, I guess it all worked out for Alana Smith, owner of a max contract to Seattle. Seattle finally gets that 2 year or 3 year max out of their pockets. It was burning a hole. Okay, so I went to Alana Smith. Who did I say we're going to go to next? It was either Courtney Williams or Rebecca Allen. I believe I said Rebecca Allen.
Allen next, yeah.
Yes, Rebecca Allen is next. Let's all right, let me just write this down. Let's hear some years and dollars. Obviously, Allen, two-way player, fits like a Swiss Army knife, or I don't know, I said that wrong. Whatever, she's good. She can fit into multiple spots. I think a lot of teams should be interested in what she has to offer. So let's hear some offers. We can start with Connecticut.
Yes, as you mentioned, Rebecca Allen can fill a lot of roles for us defensively. Very important. The shooting, not just the shooting, but being able to do soft movement. We're going to need that as we bring Jordan Canada into the building. We will go to 170. Want to give her a healthy pay bump. Can't get the max naturally, but she's very important to what we do on both ends of the floor.
Now, protection is going to be important here, and a third year may also be important. But is it protected first off?
Let me see what my protection status is right now with the roster. I am willing to do so, but I want to make sure we don't completely max out there.
I believe you have 4 because Carrington doesn't count as a. I'm going to bring in the league office for a sec. League office?
Yep. So, yeah, agreed. 4, you've got 2 more protected contract spots available, but you do have a max bid of about 154,000 right now.
Max bid of 154 is what you said?
Yep.
And you can cut people though.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah. So you could up that by about 7,000 by cutting or trading Nelson Adota. There's what is that, about 33,000 you can work out if you were to move Tyasha Harris. And then I know you kind of threw out that Natisha Heidemann is touchable, and that would be an additional 56,000 you could move.
Okay.
Minnesota just made a relevant trade offer for that, by the way, Nikais.
Gotcha.
So for now, since you can't offer 170, we'll say it's 150 until there's a deal.
Until we can, yeah.
Okay.
And since we have the core spots available, it would be protected.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. So who else has for Rebecca Allen?
Vegas here
Okay.
for Rebecca Allen.
Let me guess.
You know it. 2 years, 160. Perfect winning situation. Gives us nice 3-and-D depth with Alicia Clark.
Protected?
Protected, of course. And you come to a better winning situation, and we'd really like you here in Vegas.
I mean, for a player like Allen, it makes more sense.
Talking about winning situations, if you wanted to come back to a place you should be comfortable with, New York would love to add you to our winning core.
For how much money?
About 115,000 is everything we have left.
Okay.
As many years as you like.
Oh, thank you. And protected. Okay.
Yep. And
Indiana
will offer you 2-year max.
Hey, now we're talking.
Sheesh.
Can we make it a 3-year max protected?
I think everyone in the league knows that everything's going to be up in the air in 2 years. So I don't think that makes sense for anybody.
Well, maybe for Allen because
Okay.
of her injury history. It's just
There's
I would rather
two-
have as many years as I can at the max because it's good money.
Chicago's
there's
willing
two-
to match that.
Huh?
Chicago's willing to match that 2-year max.
Snap. Okay, that was a big one. All right. Who? Anybody else? Okay, so I have 5 offers right now from Connecticut, Las Vegas, New York, Indiana, Chicago. Anybody else?
Not at that money.
No, it gotta be. Well, it's kind of gotta get to the max area.
It
So
doesn't
all
make
right,
sense for either of my teams.
yeah, and I think I'm gonna eliminate New York. I'm sorry, New York. I gonna keep Las Vegas, although I don't know. I don't really think that's her vibe, especially
It's a
when she
winning
has.
situation.
But there's when so let me. This is what I'm coming back to. Connecticut. Can you? How high up can you get me with a trade agreed to in principle or whatever your
Because we are currently in discussions with both Ty Harris and not the same deal, obviously, but between Natisha Heideman and Tyisha Harris, like we are willing to move one of those to get up to both of that offer. So the 150, I think, is going to end up being the very low end. I think between those two.
So what we can get up to 170?
I believe. So can somebody give me the figures again for?
Yeah, you can. Oh, let me get back to league office. Sorry. League office. Could you help us
So
out?
you're at one. You've got 154,500 right now. Moving Harris would get you to about 187, 188 territory, and moving Heideman would get you essentially to the max.
Okay.
Would moving Heideman get Connecticut to the max and still being able to keep their first round pick?
Let me do some quick math here. No, it would basically just get to the max.
Okay. But
Yeah.
still like 202 while keeping the first round pick, basically 201.
Right. Yep. Yeah. 201. That ballpark.
So, can Connecticut get up to? I mean, the max would be great. I understand if that's not possible. What was that number that they could that was it 180? Can we get up to 180?
For moving, I think Ty Harris, I believe, was the thing to get to 180.
Yes.
In that case, yeah, we can get up to 180. Get that done.
Okay. Then, kind of hesitant to do this. I want to make sure that trade goes through. But assuming good faith from all the parties, we'll get a trade done. I think she'll agree to whatever is left in the cap at the moment as the base, and she wants to get to 180.
Okay.
Although that's giving up a lot, though, if you guys don't get this trade done, you know? That's giving up like 50,000.
I think we're pretty close to agreeing to a deal.
Okay. Then we get up to we agree to 180.
Oh well. I just got another offer and I was like, wait a minute, huh?
Okay, can we circle back on Beck Allen? Is that it? Would that be offensive to anybody? Because I imagine Indiana and Chicago, you still got your 2-year max offers here if we go to Courtney Williams. Although Chicago may not have it. But I just think that's something we're gonna have to roll with. Okay. Let us okay, hold on, let me see what's in the chat. Let's just agree. Okay, fine. I see. Let's do it. All right, we're going to agree. Beck Allen, $180,000 for 2 years, protected to Connecticut. And if that trade falls through,
we'll circle back. Yeah.
We'll have to circle back. Okay.
But I think we're good though.
All right. Bobby, don't go into bad faith.
Don't
right?
What?
Don't negotiate in bad faith now. Just to mess with the Kais.
Okay.
That's exactly what I would do, but you don't do it. Okay.
Yes.
Let's move on to Courtney Williams now. All right. I don't think I need to describe Courtney Williams to most people. But she is who she is. She's getting up there in age. She'd like a big contract. What was her salary last year? It's about 160. It'd be great to get something above that this year, heading in as she's a veteran. She can help the team win. So who wants Courtney Williams? Not Courtney Vandersloot. She's gone. Courtney Williams.
We wanted Courtney Vandersloot.
Chicago's willing to try to bring back Courtney Williams just to keep her paid, keep her happy. Again, like I said, Vegas is willing to take anybody. So if Courtney Williams wants to go to Vegas, but it may be a bit of a pay cut.
Okay. Is it 160 for Vegas?
Not the 160 for Vegas.
Oh, everyone else got the 160 for Vegas.
We can give you 100K, but not the 160.
All right. So Chicago is what?
Chicago, we can go to 175, 180-ish.
All right. 175, 180, 2 years?
Sure.
Well, so 180.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right. So 180 from Chicago, and that's protected?
Yeah.
All right. And okay, so anybody else?
Phoenix would offer Courtney Williams 150 to be our starting point guard.
Oh, I like that. Well, I'm starting in Chicago too. Yeah?
Of course.
Right.
150K.
We all know what the ball handling situation was in Chicago last year. Doesn't really seem like that's been addressed. So,
Yeah, it'll be all right. You know what makes up for a lot of things? It's money.
30K.
What? 60K, 2 years, guys. Multiple.
Oh, that was a 2-year deal from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We can do
Did
2
you
years
not-
then.
All right. But who else? Anybody else? For Courtney Williams? We're getting to that part of the podcast. Okay. All right, Courtney. Yeah, I think it's just a money thing. Like, I don't think it's necessarily that much better of a winning situation in Phoenix. It is probably closer, but I like Chicago. I'm there. They're giving me more money, and I'm protected 2 years at 180,000. Sorry. No one's getting 2 years, 180 million in any league. But 180,000, 2 years, protected. Good.
Yeah.
Agreed. Chicago. She's going back. Courtney Williams going back to Chicago. 2 years, $180,000. Protected. Okay. All right. Did we get that trade done, Connecticut?
I believe so.
Do we want to announce the terms?
It is looking like Ty Harris is going to Phoenix.
Oh, look at that.
It's a good Courtney Williams backup.
For this year's Seattle second. Which, if I'm reading right, is pick 14.
No, I'm sorry. That belongs to LA, not Phoenix.
Oh, is that? Oh.
Yeah. So it's got to be a 2025 second. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Wait, are you still wanting to do that deal, or because Minnesota is willing to make a counteroffer? If you
Ooh, let me see what this. Wait a minute.
Minnesota.
All right, we're coming back. We're going to
We'll circle back. We'll circle.
Sorry about that.
You guys let me know. You guys let me know when that trade's done. Just
we're working on it.
Okay, now let's talk about who else is left here on the board, guys. Let's see. Is there any restricted? Well, the restricted market's not that deep this year, so I don't think we need to get into it quite yet. Is there anybody else on the unrestricted market that we want to do? Because we've done Alana, we've done Courtney, we've done Beck.
It's more team specific one, but Vegas would be willing to hear any offers on Nia Coffey. If
wait,
want to go to Nia Coffey, she was
Nia Coffey's on Vegas.
No, we're willing to hear unrestricted offers. Sorry.
Oh, you want to make an unrestricted? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's totally cool. You guys want to go Coffee now? Hearing no objection, we continue. All right. Nia Coffey had another nice year in Atlanta. So, who's got offers?
Atlanta will.
We can start. We can start with the Dream. Sorry.
Yeah, Atlanta will do another 1 year, $130,000 $130,000 guaranteed. Same contract as last year to start off with.
130 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Protected? Yeah, sorry, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Different words. No, you're good. Who else?
We have Vegas and Chicago. If we'd want to hear Nia Coffey. So Vegas is willing to go with the 2 years, 140K, 150K, which is a little bit more than what Nia would get in Atlanta, but also in a winning situation. Also, you'd be a big support to Vegas defensively, one of the better shot blockers in the league, also one of the better shooters in the league. So I think that would give us some nice 3-and-D depth to pair with Alicia Clark. Chicago's offer would be.
So wait, all right. So 150K, 2 years protected.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you're gonna chime back in Atlanta, so let me hear Chicago.
Chicago is willing to go with 2 years, 160,000, it can go up to 170 if need be.
Yeah, there's need be. 170 to go Chicago. Okay. Anybody else?
Atlanta will upgrade to 3 years, 135.
Can we go 2 years, 135?
Yeah.
I don't think she's the type of player that's gonna. Well, she did have did she have an injury?
Yeah, she had a hand injury, I believe.
She's been very up and down, too.
Yeah. Did she have the ACL at some point? No. Who am I thinking? All right, it doesn't matter. That's good. All right, so maybe we go to 3 years. I appreciate that that's on the table. Atlanta. So 135,000 is your offer.
Yeah.
Okay. Vegas at 150. Chicago's at 170. Who else? Anybody?
We would match that 2 year 150 in Indiana if she wants to come somewhere. She might play a bit more than Vegas.
But you can win in Vegas.
No, I know. I'm aware.
Emma Cannon minutes from
something like that. That's not a lot of minutes. I mean, I don't know. Chicago sounds pretty cool, man. It's a nice little bump. I mean, I think Atlanta, if you guys could get up to 170K, probably would rather go back. If you guys can get up to that amount.
No.
Las Vegas is very interesting, but yeah, I don't want to be playing like. I don't know. I mean, I was willing to do it for other people, but I don't think. I don't know. She's still pretty young.
She did it for Atlanta, so I mean, might as well do it for the world champions.
What? She didn't take a pay cut last year. That's what she was.
No, but this would be a pay bump.
Yeah, but I'd be getting a bigger pay bump if I went to Chicago. Which it's. I mean, that's 20,000 over 2 years, and I get to play a lot, which would be bigger for me. So it might help me. At 28, though, yeah, at 28, I don't think I'm necessarily looking for a ring right now. So I like the Chicago offer, 2 years, 170. I'd say that's the leader right now. Now Atlanta or Indiana, can we get up to that 170 mark? No. What else are you doing with the cap space?
Well, exactly. That's why I'm thinking about it, because otherwise you're not worth it.
Oh.
Would you give me 1 year at the max? Huh? Yes. Sorry,
I'm thinking about it because it's dependent on whether Alpha replies to a message I've left elsewhere. So we're kind of negotiating against each other at cross purposes here.
Okay. Then Bobby, can Atlanta get up to? How high can Atlanta get up to?
145.
Okay. I think Chicago it is. I think she's going to play more than Vegas. I think it's about the same as Atlanta, but I think there's a little bit there's more money. It's just more money. So that's a decent chunk of change. All right, Chicago it is for Nia Coffey. 2 years, 170 protected. Yep. All right. Let's go, guys. Cool. Were there any other names floated around? Because I got proposals. I got names to throw out because we're kind of in the names throwing out stage.
Okay. Also, we do have the trade that would get Connecticut enough money to do the Rebecca Allen deal. So pick number 13 is going to Connecticut. Minnesota will receive Tyasha Harris and number 22.
Okay. So that was, I'm sorry, that was Minnesota?
Yes. Okay. It's the 13th pick that we received from Chicago in that Juhas Harrison deal.
So Ty Harris and 22.
Mm-hmm.
So 13 in the rights to retain Rebecca Allen, it would appear.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Boom, folks. It's a good trade. Okay. Let's start wrapping up our player signings before going to a quick recap at the end. We're almost 2 hours into this podcast. Last year, it took us like 4 hours, though. So we are really getting through a lot of players this year. We have a few more players to get through, and we will start that with Ariel Powers, a champion in Washington, as I just said while we were off air. A player that has a lot of athleticism, a lot of potential, a lot of different skills, but has had injury concerns and other concerns. Bobby, does Minnesota want to make an offer?
No, it just did not work.
That's fair. Anybody else?
Come play for the vet minimum in New York.
Okay.
Rehab your rep.
Is this, you said this is Powers? My audio cut off, sorry.
Powers.
Oh yeah, Chicago and Vegas have offers for Powers.
Okay. What do we got from Chicago?
So with Chicago, we're willing to offer a bit more than the vet minimum. We are willing to offer 100,000, 2 years unprotected.
What's the vet minimum? Oh, 76. Okay. All right. Okay. So 1 year, 100,000, and then from Vegas, I'm assuming the minimum.
From Vegas, we'll probably give you a little bit bump. We'll also give you 100,000 since currently nobody else wants to play for Vegas.
Oh yeah, that seems like a really good deal. Who can beat 100,000?
Phoenix will go 1 year, 120.
Okay. Anybody else?
Vegas can match that.
Hell yeah.
I think he'd be starting in Phoenix.
Okay. We've seen that starting necessarily does not mean success. I'm
just saying if you're trying to rehab your value, playing time is probably a good thing.
I mean, yeah, but rangs are also good.
She's got one. Doesn't need another one.
All right, so Vegas is at 120, Phoenix at 120. Anybody else in? Okay,
we'll get outbid, but I will say 1 for 95 for Washington. Add some guard depth, bring her back in a place she's familiar with. Has one here already.
In the real world, I think that offer is probably one of the most realistic, and Phoenix is too. But considering that Vegas is offering me the same amount of money, I do think Phoenix you'd have to step up, and Chicago and New York if you want to be in. So do you want to be in?
No, we'll let it rock.
Okay, then I'm going to Vegas.
I think this is the best case scenario for the other 11 teams, honestly, that this is where Vegas's money is going.
It's great for Ariel Powers, though. Absolutely amazing. I mean, she got a pay bump, or not pay bump, but she got decent money and got to go to the best situation, the best winning situation in the league, as we've been reminded.
There we go.
Podcast. We finally got, hey, Alfred, you finally got someone, man, to come to the best team in the league.
Finally.
Okay. Let's go to Bridget Carleton, a player who has also seen some amazing bidding wars here on her Hoop Stats mock off season. So start with Minnesota. Minnesota, do you have an offer for Bridget Carleton?
Either 2 years 100 protected or 1 year 120 protected.
I'd rather go with the 2 year of those two offers. So
Okay.
1 year, 2 year 100
Yeah.
protected. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody can beat that?
Phoenix will go 2 years, 110.
2 years, 110
2
protected.
2 years, 120 in Indiana.
2 years, 120 in Indiana. Okay.
What is it about Bridget Carleton?
I think I got the max for her a couple years ago. I'm just saying, or something crazy, but whatever. Indiana.
Phoenix
So
will match the Indiana money.
So that's 2 years at 120.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 years, 110.
Minnesota. No, Minnesota will hold.
Okay, I do like Minnesota though. I'm already there. Although I gotta say, my minutes have never,
Yeah.
they haven't always been consistent.
No.
Okay.
I'm holding a little bit of realism there, given what happened there, and the fact that Diamond Miller is an important part of their team.
Yeah. No, I can appreciate that. Let me see. All right, Phoenix and Indiana. Can either of you go up? Indiana, what the hell are you doing? I want to get it. Come on.
Yeah, okay. 130.
Nah, go up to 150. Take them out.
130 sounds reasonable to me.
Phoenix, can you get to 135?
Sorry, I crapped out for a sec. Did I get outbid?
Yes. You want to. Indiana heroically went up to 130. Now it's more about the principle of the matter because I just want to beat Richard. So if you can go up to either to 135, we could just end it. So I'll have to go back to Indiana.
Yeah, Phoenix will go 135.
All right, sick. I lied. Indiana, you got something for me?
140.
Oh my god.
How dare you? That's a low ball. All right, Phoenix. It is for Bridget
Oh,
Carleton.
come on. That's a spite call.
Yes, it is. The universe runs on spite. I'm a player. I'm a basketball agent. Of course, I'm doing things off spite.
Extreme Dwayne Wade voice. Relationships are important, people.
I think I've gotten Bridget Carleton in this exercise before too. It just never happens in real life.
Nor does the market go as high as it does in real life.
I mean, so excited to see what Alana Smith's market is.
five max offers.
Yes, I have one to talk today.
Let's go to Katy Lou Samuelson coming back after giving birth. One of the premier shooters, I would say. I think it's fair to say premier shooters in this league. Who has offers? We can actually. It doesn't really matter where we start, but I guess it's we'll start with the Sparks.
Yeah, I think we'll go with 1 year, 115 to start.
Okay. 1 year, 115.
Atlanta will go 2 125.
Oh, okay.
2 100 for Connecticut.
Okay, that's pretty good. 2 100 in a winning situation.
Is that legal with the Rebecca Allen contract?
The Ty Harris trade is in.
Yeah, and the Rebecca Allen contract is not.
Yeah, we got put
okay. Well, then let me look at. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, we got put in the Rebecca Allen contract. All right, well, I'll come back to you, Connecticut. Anybody else for Katy Lou Samuelson?
We don't want to go 2 years. We can go higher on the first year if that's important.
You can't go 2 years?
We don't want to go 2 years, no.
You don't want to go 2 years?
No.
Can you get me up to, let's say, because I need to cover my losses on the back end in case I don't have a good year. Can we get up to 140?
Let me see. Yeah, we can do 140.
Atlanta will go to 130 and also offer 2 years 95 for Carly.
So 1 year. I'm sorry. What? My offer just went down. I had 2 years 125 a second ago.
No, he's adding Carly.
So 2 years 130.
Oh,
and adding Carly at 2 years and 95. So Katy Lou would be protected. Carly would not be.
Okay, so 2 years. I'm sorry, Atlanta. The number was
2 years, 130.
I think it's unethical for me.
Protected.
I think it's unethical for me to negotiate the contracts for the sisters.
I don't think it is at all. Didn't we do Sloot and Quigley together last year?
Yeah, I think
they're
that's pretty
married.
realistic.
Come on, a married couple's a little different.
Yeah, I know. I am making legitimate offers for both.
So I'm sorry, but all right, Katy Lou, what was the number? What was the number for Katy Lou?
2 years, 130 guaranteed, and we can get the 5% raise for the second year.
All right.
We would match that in Indiana. Take the Carleton money.
Could Vegas get it on
I mean, at this point, Katy Lou's starting at the 4 for a team that made the playoffs last year.
And she gets to start at the 3 for us.
I think she's
a lot less banging.
Protected 5% raise too. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's playing next to Ryan Howard. We can mix and match.
Okay, so all right, Sparks. If you want to stay in it, you got to get up to what's going to be 170.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Okay.
Enjoy Atlanta.
The Aces would like to step in. We wouldn't be able to match the 170, but the winning situation and the death.
But how can you match like 130? If you could do 2 years 130, it's a mighty fine offer.
Let me just do a quick crunch.
Vegas does not have any protected spots left.
Yeah, it would just be unprotected. That's it, though.
Okay, but what's the number? Your max bid at the moment is 164.
Yeah, we can match the 130.
Well, I want to go higher than 130.
Well,
because I'm not going to play that much.
Do players not prioritize winning anymore, or is it just about money?
Well, first off, no. Let me make it very, 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 very clear. It is about money. I am a player agent. It is about money. It has to be about money. But yeah, they value winning, but it's not like if they can't get on the court. I mean, I think a lot of players would prefer to get more money and play somewhere and, go be on the bench in Las Vegas. Not that there's not, and Katie's also, I mean, I guess Katie's a little older, but still think she's young enough that she's not thinking like, oh, I need to get a chance at a ring. So what was the number for Vegas? I'm sorry.
We'll do the 2 years 130.
2 years 130. Not willing to go higher.
Nope.
Okay. But 5% raise isn't protected. Oh, not protected. Can't be protected. Okay.
No.
All right. Indiana, Atlanta. Someone get me up. We're both at 130. I just want someone to get me up. Get me up to like, if someone get to 150.
Are we talking 1 year or 2 years?
2 years. Protected. 5% raises.
Crickets.
Nothing from either of you? Okay, then
No.
I think Katy Lou. Yeah, but then why don't I go to Las Vegas? If it's the same money. If you guys can't beat Las Vegas, why don't I go to Las Vegas?
No. I mean protection.
Protection, but I don't think they're not gonna do better than me. I'm doing it. Katy Lou to Las Vegas. We're close to the West Coast too. But I think, hey, if the money's the same and the winning situation's better, I think there's going to be some, like the protection's a big deal. I do think that, but I think that the winning situation may work out better. See, Alfred, players do want to win. They're just Ariel Powers and Katy Lou Samuelson rather than the players you thought would be there. Okay, last player here, Laisha Clarendon. Let me hear some offers, years and dollars.
Dallas would do 110.
110 from
Parks
Dallas.
will do 130.
Okay, 110.
Atlanta will do.
Sorry.
Yeah. Atlanta will do 120. Protected.
Starting point guard in Los Angeles.
But 2 years in Atlanta. And just
I mean, Laisha's been everywhere. I don't know what they actually want at this point. I know they're from California, so
they did play in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
And a really good year too.
Our thinking is
All right.
like she was super productive as a 2 and even 3 in LA, and that's the role they'd be playing in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Is that attacking?
Well, and so I think someone's gonna have to substantially beat the 120 figure or give me a second year protected to match that. So LA or Dallas, are you willing to go like a substantial raise over 120 to make it worth my time?
I mean, is 140 substantial or no?
No, not really. Not for because it's 2 years.
We'll do 2 120 then.
We can afford. So
okay. I appreciate it, Dallas. Thank you. You go to
we
what?
can do 2 120 then.
Do you do 2 120? All right. If you could do 2 120, then I think that's. I don't know. I mean, it is nice to have. Wait, can you protect it, Sparks?
I believe so. Yeah, we can protect that.
1 spot left.
Okay. And let's see. So I'm starting there. I'm not starting in Atlanta. Well, that makes it kind of. Am I starting in Atlanta? No, I'm not. You guys just traded for Mariah Jefferson. Oh, that kind of makes it easy.
Okay. I mean, Atlanta made the playoffs easily last year. Sparks have not made any substantial upgrades and did not. And do not have a rising star the way Atlanta does.
We have Cameron Brink or Paige Beckers.
But it's also it's not a championship like Atlanta's a good team. I'm not sure I don't think they're going to be a championship level team this year, and that's what you're looking for. But I appreciate it. I think it's probably something that Laisha they might get that because they may like Atlanta more. Like Sabrina said, it's hard to figure out because they've been everywhere. But yeah, let's go to LA. Laisha Clarendon. Back to the Sparks. Back to the I don't know how many. She's back to the Sparks again. 2 years, 120.
It's back to Cali.
Well, yes. Going back.
Thank you for your West Coast knowledge, KP.
And 90s hip hop.
I was not trying to make a joke. I think I just talk like that now because I don't know. A lot of things have happened the last 3 years. Let's talk about what happened in this podcast, guys. A great year for the mock free agency, in my opinion. I think we got a pretty realistic view as to what happened. I think I try to change up my strategy a bit more to make it a little bit more realistic because we have missed the boat on a few moves in the past. So hopefully we got more movement. But I think it was a really interesting process as it always is. But I want to hear I want to hear from each team. If you guys want to take a second to look at your rosters, that's good too, to see what moves you made. Kind of talk about the moves you made, what you're looking forward to, and just what you were, what went to your expectations, what went against your expectations, and we'll go with that. We'll go in the order we started with. So let me hear from Sabrina. Tell me about what you thought about the exercise and what the Sparks and the Mercury were able to do.
Yeah, so the Sparks were able to get some more draft capital while using their cap space this year and not encumber themselves at all going further. I did think we'd be a little bit more successful in free agency than we were. A little shaky on the guard depth, but I think we can roll that out with some minimums. But overall, just very excited for what is coming up with that draft pick and with all of our players ideally healthy this year. And then in Phoenix, we shed a little bit of cap space because we do think that this organization can really use that going forward, if not this year, then next. And we brought in some young wings in Bridget Carleton and Haley Jones, which we're excited about, to complement Taurasi and Griner going forward.
All right. Anything surprised you this year? Where it was,
I do think that the biggest question to me is who is going to take Vegas's money. And I'm as shocked as anyone that it ended up being Ariel Powers and Katy Lou Samuelson. So that's really to me is what's going to happen there in that spot.
Yeah, I think from Alfred's point is fair that, I think some other players might prioritize winning as start to do from our exercise, right? Because we're got to prioritize the things that we know people usually prioritize. But hey, I'm a little surprised by that what happened in Vegas too. Let's move over to KP. Let's talk about the Storm and the Wings. You tried to make waves, and then you got some nice pieces in both places. So tell me about what you thought for both teams and what some that maybe surprised you from this year's exercise.
Well, I apologize to Wings fans because this was maybe the most boring mock-off season. They just don't have a lot to do right now because they're a pretty good team and they got 2 first-round picks and not a lot of cap space to work with. So, maybe they add one player, but I don't think unless Satu Sabally doesn't want to play there's going to be a lot going on. But Seattle, obviously, we were very aggressive, took a big risk with the Vandersloot trade. That made it imperative that we get one of the players in kind of what we consider the top tier of posts available. Alana Smith was the last player in that group. Didn't necessarily know it's going to take a 3-year max to get her, but we really prioritized her, love her fit with Ezzy. We're all about the Aussies. We could be starting 3 of them, depending whether Sammy Whitcomb or Jordan Horston starts at the 3 for us this season. So we're excited. We think we've got a chance to get back to the semifinals next year. I mean, Vegas and New York are still going to be tough to beat. I think the Liberty are the most fascinating team in this mock-off season, with Richard deciding to prioritize Natasha Cloud and the on-ball defense over Vandersloot. I don't know how realistic that is in terms of trading someone who just agreed to sign there last year, but it doesn't seem inconceivable.
I really thought that was interesting as well. Let's go into Caius, talk about the Sun and the Mystics. Pretty big offseason for you. And then just since this is your first time, give us your impressions of the exercise, what you thought was realistic and what you thought maybe wasn't like it's going to happen in the real world.
Got you. Had a lot of fun. I think coming in with both of these teams, like they're very much in win now mode. I want to make sure I can retain most, if not all, of the core. Losing Natasha Cloud going to hurt from the culture standpoint, also the defense. But if you can bring in Skylar Diggins-Smith, obviously I think you take that upgrade and what she can mean for the offense. So being able to do that, being able to replace Tiffany Hayes in the driving that she provided in Connecticut with Jordan Canada, with some upside there offensively. Again, we have to see where the shot now stabilizes at. But bare minimum, I think she'll be a fun handoff partner, cutter off of Alyssa Thomas. She's going to help juice that transition attack. That was important for Connecticut. So feel pretty good about what both teams were able to accomplish in this one. I also, just as a general note here, like I had a lot of fun with the bidding. So that was a nice touch. If I do this again next year, if y'all ask me to come back, I'll be sure to be more prepared, as it's my first time. So hopefully I can be a little bit more shrewd as a negotiator and stuff. But good times all around.
I thought you did a great job. It didn't seem like you were needing notes at all. Let's actually, sorry, while we have you here, though, let me do what we should have done earlier. So we got 4 deals, right, that are flexible that we need to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's start. Nikias, you have 2 of them. You have Elena Delle Donne and Beck Allen. Or no, Beck Allen's done. Beck Allen's done, right?
So Beck Allen's good. I think we did the Ty Harris trade to get up to, I think, 180 for Beck Allen, I believe was the number. And then with EDD, I think it was, I think we went up to 210, I want to say. Yeah, the baseline was at 180. So we can get her like 185, 190. That'd be helpful.
Yeah, what's the max you guys got left there? Because it's at 180. Yeah, well, you guys can go up to 210 though. Oh well, other deals. I see what you're saying. Yeah, all right. Yeah. We'll settle in at that. I'll just say 190 because there's money left. So we'll just say she got to raise it, or 200. Put it at 200 so she's matched with Ariel Atkins. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, works. 200 flat. Yeah, all right, perfect. And then the other one. Okay, let's go over to Richard now. And Richard, I want you. Let's first handle Stewie and JJ because we have those 2 contracts left. So it depends on how much money we have left for both of them, just so we can get a final number there.
Well, I have a small trade with Alpha that affects how much space is actually left for Stewart and Jones. Assuming the players were going to accept it because they would need to agree to this, we were sending the number 11 pick in the draft and Jocelyn Willoughby's rights to Chicago for Dana Evans and Ruthie Hebard's rights.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll just agree to it because I don't know if they would do that in real life because like I have to think about more of the dynamics there. But we'll agree. The players agree to have their rights traded.
And then there isn't an awful lot of room left if I'm going to keep Hanju and those 2 players we just traded for. It is basically the 200 flat by my maths for JJ and Stewart.
All right, that works. 200. That was our base, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, way to use all the money.
If there's anything left over, we'll stick it in a time off bonus between the 2 of them because neither of them's going to be playing. Well, they sometimes play overseas, but no one checks that stuff anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. So that was, and then that's it. That's all. We have all of our flex deals done. Okay. Now, Richard, tell me about your teams. Liberty Fever. What'd you guys get done? And then what was something that surprised you about this year's exercise?
Well, in New York, obviously the big move was deciding to make a change at the point guard spot, which we felt we needed to do to improve the perimeter defense, because signing someone else who would play sort of on the wing but barely crack the rotation, who can defend, isn't going to help us. So we sacrificed Salute, moved to Cloud, adds the pick next year as well. So that could be something in the future. I think the pieces that we've just added to help deepen the bench might be players that Brondello will actually use because they've got a bit more experience in the league. Otherwise, yeah, it's about bringing the core back, hoping another year of experience together, and the defensive Cloud helps improve us on last year's team. Indiana, we got nothing done.
Ah, man.
Once again, same as previous years, bidding on everybody and no one wanting to come. So hopefully we get Clark, we get good, then people will be flocking to us next year.
Well, you almost had Canada, but then it's like, oh, I might not start. Yeah, no, that's Indiana. It was closer this year, though. It wasn't quite as, oh, I'm just not listening to Indiana's offer. It's more of a, this was better.
Yeah,
and you force people to make their offer.
No, like I said, it hurts us the way around the off season is, because if the draft was first and then we knew what the shape was with the draft picks, then that would make it much easier to decide what to do next, and for other people to come as well. But right. Yeah.
Oh, and anything surprised you about this year's exercise as opposed to other years?
No, I think I like the trade movement, because what we failed to do in previous years was be as crazy as reality usually ends up being. So I think throwing in the trades to mix things up, and the amount of negotiations that I was involved in both during this 2.5 hours and before the recording, lots of people trying to do lots of things. Lots of stuff doesn't get done in the end, which is the same in reality as well. But yeah, that makes it interesting, and there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes which we could talk about afterwards, or write it up in some article afterwards if somebody wants to.
We will likely write up an article regardless if we talk about it an hour later. And you can check on the Her Hoop Stats newsletter, which I'm guessing most people listen to this podcast or subscribe to. But yeah, we usually write an article about it. We usually do a podcast about it. I agree though, like the trading this year just made it made it feel a lot more real. It opened up teams to what more possibilities. So I thought it was really positive. So hopefully next year we keep that up. Maybe we have like a little trading bonanza beforehand. So I thought that was huge. That's a really good point. Let's go to Bobby, Atlanta, Minnesota. Tell me about what your teams did, and then what you thought of this year's exercise versus last year's.
I mean, in practice, it was mostly trades. Did I sign anybody? I don't think for either of my teams. No, I didn't.
Didn't you sign the Samuelsons, or they went to Vegas?
Nope. They went to Vegas. Well, Katy Lou did.
One went to
Carly
Vegas,
is still on the market. Offer for Carly Samuelson still stands. 42% from 3 is hard to beat. But yeah, I just made some trades that took on a little bit of salary. Minnesota got some future draft assets, and Tyasha Harris, who should help the point guard situation. Because that's been a position of need. Was close with Skylar Diggins-Smith. And just I imagine that Minnesota is pretty likely to be in the mix for Diggins-Smith if there's any interest from the front office there. Just to shore that up. Again, not the big splash we were looking for. Again, I prioritize Satu Sabally, but the restricted market makes that difficult. So John-Claude Jones tried to go for that deal, but New York is hard to beat there. So with both these teams, they basically have to gamble on making a really good pitch, which I think is possible. Might have to be a pitch targeting 2 players, which Atlanta can do comfortably. Yeah. Minnesota might have to squeeze a bit.
Right.
But yeah, just exercise in general. I think we got a little bit less people staying with the same teams, which is a little bit more star movement, which matches reality a bit more. And yeah, just this less restricted free agency movement, just because of the nature of the class and extensions being signed and what have you. But
No, definitely. Yeah, Atlanta probably gets someone though. I'm guessing it goes a little differently for them in real life because it is it's a very intriguing place to be, right? You have Ryan Howard, you have Alicia Gray.
Gray, very motivated owner.
They probably get somebody in real life, and the one of the confines of this exercise is that everyone happens at once. So you're constantly, when it's kind of happening all at once, there's a lot more opportunity for someone like in Atlanta to say, "Hey, we have money, come here now."
Yeah. I mean, it looks like definitely would be bringing Monique Billings back at a decent number, probably for 1 year. Just if this word will shook out.
All right, Alfred, you got the last say here. Chicago and Las Vegas. I think Las Vegas was a winning situation. I'm not sure. All of my free agents heard that Las Vegas was a winning situation, and you're right. So I want to get your impressions of both your teams. And a thought about our exercise versus other years.
Sure. So I thought I was hoping to get some more people on Vegas just because, if you stretch the cap space a bit, Vegas could be a bit deeper. But I still think with Ariel Powers and Katy Lou, you at least get players on your bench that can at least get minutes in the games just to give a little bit of relief for Vegas. And you still have a little bit of cap space. So if you want to bring back Kia and sign some other players, but you still have your core intact. Chicago tried to offload some salary just to see if we can get 2 max spots, try to push ourselves. Didn't get necessarily the free agents we were looking for, but we were still able to bring back some of the core with Courtney Williams. We also brought in Nia Coffey, who was one of the league's better shot blockers. And after deals with Bobby and Richard, Chicago now will have the 7th pick in the draft, the 11th pick in the draft, and also Dorka Juhas. So, you're basically bringing back the same team, but you're at least recouping some of that draft capital that you lost and getting at least some young pieces for the future.
All right. And what about anything on our exercise that you want to bring up?
Oh, Vegas is a winning situation. That's what I want to bring up.
What a great note to end on. We're going to have the recaps up so you guys can check out who went where and tell us. You can find the GMs on Twitter, tell them that they did a bad job. You can't tell me I did a bad job because I got a lot of people, a lot of money. I'm feeling very good about myself. So from everyone at Her Hoop Stats, thanks for hanging out with us for 2.5 hours, listening to all of our crazy negotiations and just like having fun with us. This is one of the most fun things we do all year is being able to step into the shoes of our favorite GMs and kind of control our team. So thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you learned something. Obviously, keep following us on at Her Hoop Stats on Twitter. Make sure you follow all the great folks on the podcast on their Twitters. And we will see you very soon on the Her Hoop Stats podcast and on the newsletter. So have a great one. And we will see how much crazier free agency is this year because it always ends up being crazier. So for everyone on the podcast, I'm Gabe Ibrahim. Have a great day.